just like Team 17, eh? Oh, no, I joke. Yeah. So we're continuing on. That was a great flank. That came out from Team 18. As I said, did they initially need to get knocked down? No, they kind of didn't, because being out in the open, it's great, but there was that fear that you would have gotten caught out. That he could have been. I forget exactly who it was that initially got knocked down. He could have actually lost his life quite quickly, but obviously that wasn't the case. He was able to get revived. But either way, very successful coming out from this side of Insomnia. Team 18, overall, this circle, as I said, it's starting to close in, so we'll see the next phase. It was very much on the west hand side, so most teams, it was favorable for them. I don't expect it to be west for very long, Simsy. I reckon it's going to end in around Pachinki / the fields of Pachinki. So if you look for a bit of a position in around Pachinki / outside Pachinki area, maybe even Potato Hill would be a good start for the likes of Team 18 to move into. Yeah.
The horse is in the back, horse stock is attached.
Basically, it's going to result in a lot of deaths, right? No pun intended. But let's see who's going to kind of come out on top. I know there's not a lot of teams, and I know that there's technically more space, but I definitely don't think that, the side of Insomnia on Team 18, they need to they don't need to move in so deep into the circle, because we see that Storm has gotten a knockdown onto one member of Insomnia right now, and that's just a bit of a mistake. And an unfortunate situation for now, but let's see what can happen as Storm just moving on forward, gets that knockdown onto Lucid. As I said, there's no reason for Insomnia to be there, in my opinion. Absolutely no need for them to be that deep in the circle. True. 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 And hey, like I said before, not to sound like a broken record, these are scrims, so these are times for teams to try different strategies, to try different rotations, to try different plays, to push themselves as a bit of a team. So maybe the side of Insomnia, they normally hold, let's say, more of an edge of the zone in this situation. So maybe they're trying for an earlier into the middle of the circle situation. And, so from that point of view, hey, look, try it and evaluate it as a team and see if you guys feel it paid off. In my eyes, they didn't have to in this situation, but like I said, it can be different, and it's up to each team to really kind of get an idea of what's going to be working for them. Well, yeah, I'm kind of seeing that. All right, I'm kind of going. "Oh, okay, Team 16, Team 15. You know, Put Genius and Merc Esports. They have the same strategy. And to be honest, overall, it's a good strategy to have to occupy that hill. You have a lot of rocks that you can peek behind, but you also have the height to be able to kind of spot out a couple of teams around you that might be looking to move into circle. Now, when it's two teams on the same mountaintop, you kind of negate that disadvantage a little bit. But let's see who is going to come out on top in the mountainside squad fight between Pub Genies and Murky Sports. What? No way. So I had it viewed onto Godzilla, and he had a perfect shot 3 or 4 times to knock a couple of members of Pub Genius. I know they're at an advantage from a man point of view right now, but if you have the opportunity to get a knockdown, get it, because you're wasting resources. But either way, you see the knockdown finally coming out onto Avtami. Oh, Bullet gets a knockdown onto Godzilla. That's gonna put the side of Merc Esports under a bit more pressure as Pud Genius are holding their ground, they're holding their own, they're keeping sight as Godzilla is just going to feel the heat in that knockdown. Is it going to be Pud Genius coming out on top? It is indeed. Yep. Yeah, like that was just really like nothing heavily wrong done by the side of Merc Esports, really. Just a bit of an unfortunate situation. The flank around that came out from Godzilla wasn't a bad idea, but at the end of the day, you're in the low ground, right? You know, you're in the prime opportunity to get headshot, to be the victim of a headshot, and you got to be damn sure that you can get the knockdown quicker than your opponent if you're going to take the low ground in that situation. Obviously, he felt he was. That wasn't the case. As I said, these are scrims. They're trying to push yourselves. So maybe he'll kind of realize in future, look, you know, if I'm going to go for that moment of that play, of that flank around in that situation of having the low ground, I got to have the aim absolutely spot on. So either way, that's the only thing I feel they kind of could have done a little bit better. Otherwise, they just faced an unfortunate situation. But that circle shift, Simsy, ridiculous. I didn't I call it though? Didn't I call it? Yeah, yeah, I did call it. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, like although Bullet is kind of on his own, right, and he's a little bit away from the rest of his team. You know, he could find himself paying that off, but either way, I feel that's a bit of a risk on the side of Bullet. He's got himself 2 kills so far. He does have himself a building situation, but he was facing the risk of getting caught out from the side of Angels of War. Oh, Simsy, Apparently, I can't be heard on stream. Yes, according to Sour. Sorry to cut you off, but obviously it's kind of more important. According to Sarah Skittles. No. Continue to solo cast, mate. No, carry this on your own. You got it, yeah? We'll sort it out for next time. I'll just enjoy your sweet Australian voice. Oh, Simsy. Oh, yeah. Yeah, speak to me, baby. Mmm. Oh, yeah.
The horse is in the bag, or stock is attached.
Wow. Wow. But Simsy, feel free to mention that it was great that after they got the first knock, that they responded absolutely perfectly the way a squad should of executing that squad wipe rather than waiting for the res to come out. They acted on that knockdown and pushed forward. It was excellently. It was perfectly executed. Oh, Simsy. Okay, so there's a mistake. Crap. I can be heard, but you can't be heard. Yeah. Okay, so should I just continue to solo cast?
I see. I know what happened. I know what happened. Because the stream shit itself. I muted my mic and then forgot to unmute it. So this is just an absolute clusterfuck. And just to rub things in a little bit, I know a close mate of mine is watching for the first time. So there you go, Booty.
What?
Just watch Simsy just absolutely
shit the bed.
Shit the bed is a good way to put it.
Shit the bed, mate. That's all it is. Okay, look, let's drive on forward. You know what, Simsy? You take a well-earned break, mate. I'm going to go on through what is happening right now between these teams. We do have 16 players alive, 5 teams out. We've seen some great flanks, some great aggression coming out from these teams. It is going to be somewhat of a pachinky finish. We do see Insomnia from Team 18, which is Insomnia, ironically. Looking to get that high ground flank onto the likes of Team 7. They have the protection of the rocks around them. They have the protection of the cars blown up. It's a great strategy that they're pulling out. Of course, when you have the open area and the high ground, the advantage is, of course, you have the high ground. The disadvantage is you're kind of out in the open. But like I called out, I knew it wasn't going to be a direct pachinky finish, Simsy. I knew it was going to be somewhat either the field or the hills outside of pachinky. I called it. It never is. Rare upon rarity is actually a pachinky finish. So excellently located from the side of Insomnia that they got that hill spot. That they didn't instantly rush into pachinky. They thought 1 or 2 circles ahead. They pushed their way forward in the right position, predicting where the next couple of circles will be. But right now, we see Team 16 responding. They've gotten some fantastic kills. They've gotten 2 squad wipes in their favor, currently lying right now on 7 kills. They are man down. They're down to 3 players, Cody, Bullet, and Thatcher. They're trying to get the job done. They're looking all around them. They're using the vehicle. They're proning quite successfully. Also using smoke grenades because they know that there is potentially a couple of teams around them. But as we do the camera over to Una Esports, looking pretty strong. They do have the circle. They have the compound. One could fear that with 2 members in the one building, that is a bit of a risk, but so far they're making it work. So let's see how they are going to be able to respond to that. Thatcher has been knocked down on the side of Pub Genies. I said that was going to be a fear. So they are down to 2 players. That is Bullet and Cody. Let's see what they are going to be able to do. All teams right now, other than the side of Team 3 and Team 12, are inside the circle. So they're going to have to start moving in it. It is closing out for these teams as we are getting to the closer stages of the end of this game. Cody, I'm personally spot on to him. I see what he's doing. He's flanking around very nicely, using the smoke grenades to his advantage, because kind of right now they have the low ground. They're out in the open. You can see right now with the camera panned around, they were facing hassle from both Team 7 and Team 18, but Team 12, they've left it too late to go into the circle. They've come across into a bit of an issue of Team 3. Hydra has been able to actually survive, but no, not without getting knocked down. He's felt the heat. We've seen Team 12, I believe they've been able to survive just outside the circle, but not without getting damaged, not without facing pressure from both Team 3 and Team 18. It's a cluster. That's a risk of leaving it too late to get into these circles. That's a risk of not getting into these zones as quickly as you should. You're facing off against the blue zone, but you're also facing off a bit from the teams that are already inside that circle. And we're seeing Unit there outside the circle have to try to move in, but Peril is getting work done on the Cross. Cross has been knocked down. Yes, indeed. This side of Insomnia, they're down to 3 players, as you can see right in front of you, but they're not letting that get the better of them. They're being forward, they're being aggressive, they're being also quite predictable, not predictable, but predictive of where the enemy teams are. They're looking around them because you see them getting shots on. Peril is a one-man army right now, getting another knockdown for his side. Hydra, as you do see, has been able to get a knockdown onto Earl. So either way, there's a lot of action going on. You can see in the corner of the map, there's a lot of teams around the cluster of the south side of the circle. Team 18, Team 3, Team 12, all looking for that prime high spot location coming into the closing end of this game. But when you look for it too late, you're going to face off getting the risk, as Insomnia has been knocked down. He's going to look to be revived for his side. He's going to look to really stay alive in this game, because we've seen Earl has been knocked down. Earl and Pearl looking to try to make the job count for his side. But as we see, Peril, he's the only one with any kind of health for his team. So we saw the high ground be really effective and they were aggressive with their position. But like I said, the small fear is that you're out in the open, and you see they had moved away from where they initially had the protection of the vehicles and the rocks. If they had stayed there, in my opinion, that would have been a much more effective position to get damage done onto the enemy teams. But they kind of moved across, they moved their way down, and they've kind of felt pressure from that, because right now, Team 16, they've primed position to move in. Of course, they think there's a couple of enemy teams close to those vehicles because the vehicles are there, right? So they're kind of being a little bit careful. But we are focused on to the side of Team 12. They survived against Team 3, the side of Marked for Death, but the side of GKS Esports. They have the lip of the hill. They are just inside the circle. It's a bit of a low ground, but it is good protection. But no point in having that lip of the ground if you're going to go up on that and get knocked down. So that's unfortunately going to be a knockdown, a near death experience from Shinigami, but will be able to be revived by Darth right now. Earl, they're going to try to move in. See, I feel like, Insomnia, that should have been the call for them to move forward. I know they might not be sure how many opponents are left on the side of Team 12, but you got to have a little bit of confidence, right? But Peril has been knocked down, though, so that's going to be a 1v1 situation between these two teams. If they had to push forward a little bit earlier on and had that level of confidence, they probably would have made it count a little bit more. But Cody, Earl, they're coming off. This is going to be essentially a bit of a 1v1, and the match has ended. And Peril pulling clutch for his side and giving Insomnia that first game win.
Yeah, well done there, Imperium. Went from being one solo cast to another, but you've absolutely nailed that final couple of zones there. You've done well, mate. We've got young ninjas coming away with that win.
I haven't solo casted for like so long, so kind of like freaking, I was a little bit rusty from that point of view, but I know like you deserve the break, man. You deserve the break, so give you a bit of a chance to maybe focus on the camera, and you didn't have to worry about like fucking, it
was nice to just take a step back there for a little bit and just, use the camera. Now we've got a couple of people in there saying Imperium just taking all the action from Cindy. That's fine, he can do it. He's got sick commentary, so it's all good, guys. But we will go through these results.
I don't think I did as good of a job as you, mate. You're a fucking awesome solo caster, man.
Cheers, bro. Cheers. I'm blushing. What can I say? Well, we will go through our results that we do have here. We've got Young Ninjas taking out first place. Earl Peril with 5 and 4 kills. Lucy with 1. Insomnia with 2. That gives them a grand total of 12 here in match 1. Then we go to Pub Genius in second. 4 kills for Bullet and Cody. 1 kill apiece for Average and Thatcher. That's 10 kills for them. GKS in third place. 1 kill to Darth. Fourth goes to one of the MFD teams. I believe that was Team 3. Marked for Death. Cross with 4 kills. Playboy with 5. 1 for Hydra. That's 10 kills. We saw a lot of squad wipes from that team. Unit Sport in 5th place with no kills. And then we got AW, Angels of War, in 6th place with just the 1 kill. One of the other MFD teams, I believe that one was Angels of Death, which contains Not Bear. Yeah, that's correct. They got no kills there in 7th. Merc Esports in 8th with no kills. Shadow Nation in 9th with no kills. And we've got Dark Rising in 10th. 3 kills to Real, 2 for Loyal. That's 5 in total for them. And then Royal Flush in 11th place with no kills. Now we will duck across and see if we can get a bit of an interview going on. I'll just quickly check the Discord and see if we do have anyone floating around. Insomnia is always good for an interview, but we will just have a quick chat, quick check, and I'll message Dabs and see what he has to say. What did you make of those final few circles, mate? Did you feel like I remember you saying that Young Ninjas were pretty good with their position there up on top of the hill. Do you think that was more of a how do I say this bit of zone luck that they maintained that hill position, or do you think that was a bit of something else?
No, that was, in my opinion, that was calculated by them. I knew the circle wasn't going to end up in Pachinki. I knew it was going to end up outside of Pachinki. That's why I said it. It doesn't end in Pachinki. It's just not the way the circles are essentially. Because I had a good chat with a couple of guys within PUBG and within PUBG Mobile, and the set of circles that they kind of have, it's just not. That's not the way it ends. It just doesn't really end that way. So the side of Young Ninjas, that was perfect, absolutely perfectly calculated by them initially. However, where it kind of went against them was when they got a bit too aggressive within that area. They had the high ground, they had the protection of the vehicles, but they moved away from it, right? It's like I mentioned, and in some way that's good, and of course they still got the job done overall, but I feel like they could have done a bit of a cleaner job. Oh, by the way, shit, we started and I wasn't in the room, right? Fuck. Oh well.
What do you mean? We haven't started yet. No, that was
Have
just...
we not?
No, you're screen
Oh,
sharing.
okay,
You're just watching me
shit,
go back to the
yeah.
lobby, mate. It's all good.
No, I just saw a loading screen and I thought it was like, oh shit, we started again. Anyway, sorry, let me continue. So, overall, it was a great job done by them, but I gotta give credit to Pub Genius. At least 2 squad fights, they came out absolutely on top, and it was that particular second one where I was giving info to you that you were talking about on stream, but as it happens, I could actually be heard and you couldn't. So it was that moment where as I said, teams, more often than not, in my opinion, in a negative way, they'll get a knockdown and they won't take advantage of it, right? You know, especially when it's a prime opportunity and you kind of go, look, you can pull on that. They don't do that. They're passive. We saw Pub Genius get 1 knockdown and they drove in. They went in. That was it. Perfect. Because they knew that if they had allowed the revive to come out, it would have been opportunity wasted, and they could have potentially have lost a squad fight because of that. But getting that first knockdown, you were automatically at a bigger advantage than you were to begin with. So a lot of teams, they don't actually expect to be flanked on in these situations. They don't really expect to be aggressed upon, because not a lot of teams actually do it. So for Pub Genius to do that, of course it surprised them, their opponents, and also it was just the best thing to do. So really got to give a lot of credit to Pub Genius.
That's exactly right, mate. Well, they've Pub Genius did very well, but we do have Insomnia in the interview room, mate. So I reckon we jump across there and have a quick chat with him, and before we head across to match 2. See you in there, mate.
See you in there, mate.
So here we do have Insomnia, our winner, Young Ninjas, of match 1 of the Inferno squad scrims. First of all, mate, congratulations. Second of all, MW, what's the go with that?
So we just had some things happen with Young Ninjas. I'm not saying Young Ninjas isn't a team anymore necessarily, but as far as like ESL and stuff, I'm gonna be playing with Most Wanted. So we were just trying to get some practice in tonight before ESL starts tomorrow. So yeah. Oh,
a team change coming out for you, mate.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah. How do you feel that you guys played that one? I know you guys got some pretty good zone luck there up on top of the hill. You had a knock early. What was the go with? I think it was Bullet getting stuck in the that compound just to the west of Pachinki while you guys are up on top of the hill. Was there any plan behind that, or just a bit of miscommunication?
Yeah, it was just a little miscommunication. But after we figured out what was going on and regrouped and everything, we kind of controlled the whole situation.
That's sweet. So you guys got a whole bunch of kills in that one. You were looking for when you're up on top of a hill like that. Is your aim to try and hold that position, or if you have the opportunity for a squad wipe, are you willing to leave that position in order to confirm those kills?
I think it just depends. Usually, if you don't have any other team surrounding you and you can go for the finish on the team, then yeah, we would do that. But we're not just going to leave our place knowing that there's other teams that can just third party or shoot us right as soon as we try to go get other kills.
Well, that's kind of what I felt you kind of did in an initially negative way.
Right.
Like you had the high ground of outside of Pachinki Hill, and you had the vehicles and the rock around you to protect you,
Right.
and you kind of flanked to the right. And of course, as I said, you guys still won, so by no means did it not work out. But I definitely think, if maybe a better team or a better set of teams had been around you,
Right.
you probably would have been, I feel, a little bit
At a disadvantage.
a disadvantage. Yeah, just
Yeah.
just in that situation, mate.
Yeah, we knew that the last two teams were literally to our left and right. So
Okay.
what we're trying to do is be duo but squad. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I was trying to just hold off or keep at bay the team to our left. I kind of derbed some shots. I could have got a knock, which would have made it a little bit better on everybody's
Yeah.
part. And then,
Yeah.
like I said, then Earl and Peril on the right had a little bit of trouble, so I came back just so we wouldn't be at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was kind of weird, but yeah, we pulled through.
Okay. And like that. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like it was even that, like, you know, that kind of situation where Errol and Peril kind of got like knocked, and you're kind of like, you know, you guys didn't really need for that to happen, if that makes sense. That's what I mean.
Right.
Like you kind of made it harder for yourself. But
Yeah.
I want to ask, that initial positioning outside of Pachinki, was that done on purpose? Did you know / have a huge feeling that the zone was going to end up there, as opposed to actually in Pachinki?
Yeah, actually, I've done pretty good at reading zone here lately, and Earl also has
Okay.
a really good understanding on zone.
Yeah.
So just to try to take the best positioning, and since we had scopes and stuff like that, you don't really. I mean, you can be stuck inside of a compound or whatever, but just to hold, like I said before, just to hold a massive amount of area, or position is, in my opinion, better. So yeah, that's what we just try to do, and it's like I said, you have the height advantage, so you can just pick off people. As you could see, like we were just trying to pick people coming off on a rotation.
Yeah, like, cause I said to Simsy, like, first of all, even after the first circle went, and a lot of teams moved into like the center of the circle near like even near Gaka, right?
Right.
And I was kind of like, one, in my opinion, the circle's gonna shift northeastwards, and two,
Right.
like you know, you don't need to like go into center zone like that, in my opinion. But even then, when it did shift and it was kind of around Pachinki, like I said to Simsy, that's not going to end in Pachinki. It's
Yeah,
not.
definitely not.
It's not.
I mean,
And-
it could. It
yeah.
definitely could, but like, yeah, it just
Come on.
wouldn't. Yeah.
Yeah, it just would, exactly. So
I
like,
mean, but it happens sometimes.
like it could have happened, as much as, like, you know, I can like go out with like Emma Stone or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's just not gonna happen. Like,
See, the positioning that we had, it was, if it did land at Pachinki, right, then we could just hard rotate right in all three vehicles and crash that last compound.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I gotta commend you guys on your positioning. Absolutely perfectly done from that point of view.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's not often I actually really see that, to be honest. So really great job.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, congratulations, Insomnia, and thanks again for stopping by for another interview, mate. This is becoming a bit of a regular thing that you're doing with us. Hopefully, we'll see you again later today for another interview. But you've got 3 minutes to get into your slot, mate. So we'll leave you to it to quickly jump in there.
All right. Thank you, guys. I'll see y'all later.
No worries, mate. Good luck.
All right.
See you, mate.
See ya.
So Imperium was just us for the next few minutes until
Mate.
match 2 gets
Gotta
underway.
say, gotta say, one of the
nice.
nicest guys I've had the pleasure of interviewing from that point of view. Real nice guy.
Yeah, he's
Real
a
nice guy.
genuinely good dude,
horses
and
in the
I
back,
always
Yeah.
like interviewing him and having a good chat. He does some real good insight, particularly for people that are either just starting out to the game or trying to improve. He gives you a bit of an insight into what some of these really good players, how they think, how they operate, how they move on the fly and change positions in zone in particular. I think that's really interesting.
Yeah, it is, and as I said, like, just being open to like talking about kind of strategy and what they felt and what they thought. It's just refreshing from that point of view. So, yeah, super happy for them. Like, I don't want to go on about it, but like I predicted the circles. I knew it was gonna happen. So, yeah, it's
Yeah,
felt
mate,
good, man.
Yeah, you've got 2 minutes to get into, or 1 minute now to quickly get in.
Oh yeah, but I don't know the code. Like,
hold on, I'll copy and paste and send that to you,
it's
mate.
I literally like, oh yeah, password. Okay,
I'll
yeah,
send it to you as well. But okay, so you got a minute. So what I'll quickly do while you're doing that is I'll jump across to our VC so I can screen share.
Screen share.
And I'll see you in a moment.
Awesome.
Just quickly moving over so Imperium can see what I'm seeing on my screen. Make it easier for us to both cast. We'll quickly get off my ugly mug. I did see a couple of people in there commenting on my luscious beard. Thank you very much, guys. It is a few weeks of growth, this one. Although I might be shaving it tonight or this afternoon. Simsy's got himself a date, so got to make sure I'm looking pretty. All right, let's just check over, see that
horses in the
here.
back.
Yes, he is.
I'm here.
Wonderful man is here. We'll quickly jump off my mug. Although I think you're in team slot 1 still, mate. You're not in the spectator spot, just from what I'm looking at. Yep.
Fuck it, I'm playing.
You're playing? He's going to go. That's Imperium riding solo in the squad scrims. That would be hilarious to watch. It looks like Shadow Enemies are here too. A couple of... Oh, they jumped into Team 1.
You don't think I could get the job done, Kappa?
Oh, that's a big shout. It's a big shout. But I do think, actually, just there at the last second, a couple of Shadow Enemies players who are on Team 11, I'm pretty sure they didn't quite make it into their team. So they might be in Team 1. There might be a couple of duos floating around this match just to add a level of spice to match 2 on Miramar here for the Inferno Squad League.
The horses in the bag.
Oh my lord. Miramar. What are you going to do to us today? Big map. A lot of locations to really get some sniper shots off onto these teams. Obviously, they are going to be look to prioritize the bolt action loadouts or the likes of the Mini 14 with something like the 4, 6, 8 times scopes to really be able to take advantage of the terrain.
Yeah, you really do need a bolt action of some kind because you're or some long range weapon with scope because it's these open ranged maps, particularly here on Miramar. You need to be able to be able to see essentially a long distance. Otherwise, you're going to be in a bit of strife coming up against someone who can see you. But we do have a east to west flight path straight down the Hey Diddle Diddle from Junkyard to Ludrillera. Oh,
Yeah.
Still on Spawn Island. Go spectate someone. There we go.
Oh, I'm still on Spawn Island as well. That was a bit of a bug. Okay.
Oh, that nothing like PUBG to produce some bugs, mate.
Mate, yeah, never heard of it. Never heard of it before in my life. Never heard of it before in my life. Look, either way, so freaking one thing that these players do need to be aware of in Miramar, which sometimes they're, you know, I see it happen. Hell, I've done it myself because I'm a terrible driver within PUBG Mobile. Is that when you're in a vehicle, you definitely want to make sure that you are on the roads and you're on that narrow that straight path, because once you get on the hills of Miramar in a vehicle, damn, it's hard to get over those hills. You're essentially slower than if you're walking, essentially, and it can catch some of these teams out. So I'll be interested to see if it happens in this game. It has happened before, but either way, Team 18, Team 3, and on a side note, do we know anything about this lonely wolf of Team 1?
Yeah, so he was meant to be part of Shadow Enemies on it in slot 11, but he turned up so late that even Not Bear wasn't quite able to kick him, so that he's going to be riding solo for this match. I believe he is solo. Yes, he is. Su Fu. He's in all sorts of trouble. You said you did I have any faith in you to ride solo here? Well, let's say that Sufu is going to be taking your place as riding solo at the moment here in Picardo. He's landed hot, which is interesting.
Well, I suppose he's kind of got nothing to lose, right? You know, he's kind of on his own, nothing crazy in terms of you know, if he can get a couple of knockdowns and aid the rest of his Shadow Enemies team later on, it's not really the worst thing in the world. If he does survive, will he take his teammates out inadvertently? Who knows? We could find out. It could get a little bit spicy, but right now he's got to get past what Team 13 and Team 18 are dishing out against each other.
Oh, he did spot Dark Loyal, but he's gone. There we go. The solo is gone. Okay. And I'm willing to throw a little comment out there and say that might have been your fate as well, mate. Had you ride solo?
Oh wow. Okay, cool. That's it. I'm done. See you guys. No, I joke.
But tell you what, there has been a knock.
But then again, I wouldn't have dropped hot. There you go.
There we go. He's in Imperium's solo squad strats. Don't drop Picardo when you're playing on Miramar. You heard it here first. But we're looking at Team 13, which is Dark Rising, and the winners of the last match, which is Young Ninjas. There was a knock, but the revive quickly came out. Two pushed across, Earl and Insomnia. Staying back, Lucid and Peril trying to get a little bit of a different angle here. Both a little bit of a stalemate until one team decides to make a move.
Yeah, so like Team 13, when you're looking at, let's say, Jay right now, he has a scar. It's good. He has an energy drink, but he's low on health a little bit. He has a damaged tier 2 helmet, and he has no military vest. If that's similar to what the rest of Team 13 have, as a squad, I would kind of look to smoke as much as possible. If you do, and essentially get the hell out of there. Because I would not want to go up against Team 18 in this situation.
Yeah, the question is though, can they get out of there and across to the motel? Oh, but Last has gone down at the hands of a Thompson of Earl, and Jay's gone down too. Big trouble for Dark Rising.
Yeah, they're just looking, when you look at Earl, he has level 2 military vest, he has level 2 helmet, even a level 3 backpack. Much more prepared, much more really on point with all of those shots. Earl with that Tommy gun, as I call it, is absolutely coming in clutch for his side. Moving him forward. Dark Royal, he's going to be the only one left. Loyal has been taken out. That is a squad wipe, and they do start as they mean to go on in this second game, Simsy.
Yeah, Earl really using that Thompson to full effect. It's why it is such a powerful weapon early on, particularly if you can get an extended mag like Earl did there with 50 rounds. You don't need to reload. You can really apply the pressure and chase an enemy across a map, across a city, across a town. So well done to Earl, and well done to Young Ninjas getting our first squad wipe, although it appears that those gals in Shadow Nation are engaging elsewhere on the map.
Yeah, not just engaging, but those gals have just ripped on through Shadow Nation and gotten that squad wipe inside Monte Nuevo. So Shadow enemy is gonna have to go back to the drawing board after this game too. Do you see I was just gonna say Team 12 and Team 3 going up against each other. We've seen Shinigami has been knocked down, but as has Gasman.
Yeah, well, I'm currently looking at just the players and the loot until those buildings rendered in. They finally did render in. Gasman is down. Glacier, Darthan, Shinigami still up. Shinigami about 1 HP at the moment. Team 3, particularly Cross, really pushing in with that UMP. Seriously damaged vest, but she just picked up a new one nicely. Marked for death. Trying to apply the pressure here to Shinigami and Co. Playboys there as well. Marked for death. Hopefully they're not marked for death by these GKS guys all across. They just take a bit of damage. They do know where they are now. Bam, thank you, man. 2 GKS players gone. Might be a third. Oh, Shinigami does go down. That's game over. All gone.
Wow.
GKS clapped. Shinigami popping some UMP to the face there at the end.
Like, Marked for Death really just flanked onto that building so perfectly. There was always that fear that DKS really GKS, sorry. They were kind of all into one building outside of Shinigami, and that's not really the kind of optimal situation to have, because you kind of just end up putting yourself in the situation of exactly what Marked for Death did to them. It is Marked for Death, it was?
Yep.
Yeah, Marked for Death, there you go. So it's really like, you know, unfortunate situation overall that the two teams came together, but at the end of the day, Marked for Death, they just flanked that building so perfectly. They aggressed as a squad, no bullshit, just getting in there and getting the job done, getting those kills. Of course, securing that squad wipe is not the worst thing in the world for them.
Yeah, as we quickly jump over to Royal Flush, who appear to be chasing another one of those Marked for Death teams, which this one is Team 14 Angels of Death. They're being chased across the map by Patriot, and Patriot using that M16 to full effect. Cerebus feeling the full force of that. He's going to be finished off, I'm sure. Tattoo Cat has managed to get into a bit of cover. Nova has got to move as well, but they have lost Not Bear along the way, so they're going to be down to just the duo. Well, it looks like the vehicle is in hot pursuit. Dewan coming across here trying to confirm this squad wipe.
Yeah, it's always risky when you're going in on your own, right? You know, you end up getting kind of party, because right now Tattoo Cat has gotten that knockdown onto Dewan. There's no point in going in on your own if you're going to end up getting wiped down, so that's a bit of a mistake coming out from the side of Royal Flush right now. Not looking so royal against the side of Angel of Death.
Yeah, and now it's actually a 2v2. But the cavalry is beginning to arrive. Tattoo Cat is down a little bit. Patriot, we do know, has a scope after watching him before. Christian is down the hill. They are really going to have to try and get a knock down as quickly as they possibly can if they have any aspirations of getting up to 1. Oh, Tattoo Cat has gone down the end, getting the knock there. He's actually coming up to 0 on my screen for some reason. Tattoo Cat is finished off, so it's just going to be Nova left alive for Angels of Death, and Patriot and Christian and Co are just pushing it straight across. There is hope of a revive on their teammate, and Nova is down. Gone. Marked for Death gone. Angels of Death gone. If you got death in your name, you're in trouble.
Well, hey, look, you know, death follows death, as they say. So, aptly that has happened. Look, you know, as I said, Miramar is so open. You just gotta be aware of what you're doing. Sometimes, yeah, okay, it's better to walk, but realistically, when you're out in the open and you feel like you have a team around you, gotta be a bit more calculated with that. Fortunate situation from Angel of Death. They will be able to move on forward. But these teams are kind of starting to close in on each other. Team 6 and Team 7. Unit. As well as the side of Angels of War. Come close.
Now we're looking at Mart right now, the last remaining player from Unit Sport. Just having Team 6, Angels of War, rotate past. Mart just sitting tight, hanging out inside the zone, just wants to survive for the time being and climb that ladder in terms of placement to accumulate those points.
Oh. So, if he's the only one left, or the only one left for Unit, he's got a good position. It's not too deep in the center of the circle, and it will allow him to, let's say, somewhat be inside the zone in the next couple of circle shifts, in my opinion, and then he'll be able to, kind of calculate his movement within the next kind of 4 or 5 minutes. He doesn't really want to / need to move anywhere. So I actually do like the position of Mart as a final member of Unit to try and keep them alive as a squad as quickly as possible.
Yeah, we're just watching Young Ninjas pull up at a fresh drop. Groza, some level 3 goodies in there. Level 3 vest, melon, backpack, and a desert ghillie suit there for the guys from Young Ninjas. So they're just kitting themselves up, driving around this map with 27 live, 8 teams remaining, 20 odd seconds before this next zone comes in. You are bang on the money in match 1 in terms of where the zone is going to finish. Have you got a prediction for this one, Imperium?
I'm gonna say outside. Outside Power Grid. There you go.
What, this that Power Grid Picardo to where Team 6 is kind of area? This right here?
kind of around between Power Grid and Picardo.
I don't mind.
That's what I'm predicting.
I think you're either going to be bang on the money, or it might be. I'm going to go slightly further to Picardo, the edge of Los Leones.
Okay.
Just mix things up slightly and go for a slightly odd choice.
So, we did see Mart move directly into the middle of the circle. In my opinion, as big as Miramar is as a map, so you kind of have technically more freedom to move. He didn't have to move from where he was. In moving from where he was, he really put a big risk on getting caught out. He was only in a bike. It was a bit risky.
Oh, bang, Young Ninjas.
Yeah.
Popping a couple. Yeah. Athena's going to have to be... Oh, Athena does go down. She got caught on her own. Sorry to cut you off there, mate, but Young Ninjas, cool, in the course of rotating like madmen across the map, they managed to get Earl and Lucid knocked down. They're currently crawling inside. The question is, where are the teammates of Athena, Cassandra, and Classic? They're currently rotating back towards their fallen comrade. Whether they pull up is a different question. Appear like they might. Maybe this is a spot right here. Maybe not. Let's just see what they are going to do. Or they're actually rotating in 2 different vehicles. Well, maybe they'll go, nah, we'll live to fight another day.
Well, it's a good spot where they're going because, like I said, you have a couple of buildings just outside. It is in the circle. It's going to survive the next zone or two, but it does seem like they're kind of looking for a better spot to move a bit further into the circle, predicting the next shifts. And hate to say it, mate, but you're definitely wrong. I'm a little bit close to being right.
Yeah, I think you're half right. You got about half that zone in there, mate. You're still much
Hey,
closer
mate. I said outside Power Grid and between Power Grid and Picardo right now. If he shifts more to the west, but either way, this next circle is definitely favoring the likes of Young Ninjas and Team 16. Pub Genius came in second in this first game, looking to carry it through. They are going to get closer to the 2 members of those gals.
Yeah, they're currently rotating away. Cassandra rolling a vehicle. Oh, that's a bad place to have your vehicle slow down, but they're going to make their way up over that hill where Cassandra rolling her their pickup truck. Now they're having to rotate using that buggy. But you are right, first and second from match 1. Still alive, still kicking. Pub Genius. They've got a compound inside the zone. Team 6 and Team 8 are going to roll right into one another. Center map, I think.
Yeah, they're just kind of having a bit of an overview right now. Like, you know, like I said, when you okay, those guys, they've got a good position now. Not the worst thing in the world. It's high ground. You got a lot of peaks. You got areas that you can kind of hide behind. Definitely good. But I kind of think, you know, did they have to go in through the circle? So they could have gone around the edge of the circle and found a much safer route to get to where they wanted to go. Whereas instead they kind of went through the circle, compromising where they would have been heading, potentially getting caught out. And, you know, it's just, you got to think, okay, is it really worth taking that route? In a competitive situation, it probably wasn't worthwhile. But either way, Team 18 and Team 6, I do believe, are getting very close together.
Yeah, there's still a little bit of separation between them. Insomnia and Earl are using a little bit of cover closer down towards them, taking some shots from up the hill. Lucid and Peril doing something similar. The vehicles are in cover, so there's no real danger for them as we watch the match 1 winners take some shots down the hill. Adam copping a couple. Angels of War. Team AW fighting here in the Inferno League. Squad squims, Jesus Christ. Squad squims for the
Squad
first.
squims.
It's the squad squims, baby. The squad squims.
I don't even know how to respond to it right now. Like, okay, so when you look at Young Ninjas and where they're flanked, they have a lot of angles covered, and they have also the high ground in terms of, you look at Peril, you look at Lucid, and of course the other 2 members of Young Ninjas. They're all flanked very effectively. They kind of do have Angels of War pinched quite nicely, and you see the shots are really kind of counting. So I really love how once again Young Ninjas are positioned.
Yeah, we do have a couple of teams much closer than those 2. We have jumped across 2. We got Team 3 marked. We got the Team 3 marked, but just Playboy and Studman were still alive. I thought they were dead, but that nade is perfect on Cody. Cody nade in. Cody knocked Cody down. So it is now Bullet and Average up against Playboy, who's pushing into that building, going in there with the AK.
Yeah, so let's see what he's gonna do. He's gonna try and pull in. However, Bullet gets a knockdown, gets a kill onto Stun Man for now, as Playboy is gonna feel the heat. He gets shot from behind. There's no friendships in PUBG Mobile when it comes to the battlefield. There's no rules. You get the kill, you get the job done, and you move on forward. Put Genius once again in the front line in the battlefield, getting the kills and moving on forward.
Yeah, they're done and dusted as we look at Merc Esport continue to rotate. Oh, it looks like is Team 18 on the move? Looks like they might be. The team appears to have come up in and behind him. Earl's taking some damage. Actually, Earl goes down. Looks like Royal Flush has come to join the party at the expense of Young Ninjas.
It's not down and out yet, because Lucid from a distance is going to get work done. He's got a good scope, not the biggest, not the kind of the heaviest scope possible, but Peril is in the front line. He's got 2 kills so far. He's gonna throw a grenade to try and catch out the team of Royal Flush, trying and pushing them out. So right now, even though Royal Flush do have the compounds, have the buildings, the high ground of the lips is favoring the side of Young Ninjas.
Yeah, and Insomnia has come across with that vehicle, got Earl up. Earl's got in a first aid kit, so that original knock is down. Lucid's are actually rotating around the other side in the direction of Christian. These 2 are getting relatively close to one another. That AK is going to come into use, I do believe, as Patriot gets knocked.
Like the way Young Ninjas are flanking around is overall very good. You see Lucid getting that knockdown. They're very confident of being able to flank around separately and get the kills done, get the job done, single-handedly, but also as a squad, if that makes sense. So, like, you know, you saw them cover every single angle, and with some teams, they would do that, and in that 1v1 situation, they'd lose that fight, right? But Insomnia, sorry, Young Ninjas, should I say, they're able to flank around and get those 1v1s off individually, and then as a team, they win that squad fight. It's absolutely amazing. I'm really impressed.
Yeah, they took some adversity and turned it into an advantage, but that's why Young Ninjas who turn up every week do so much damage. As we're watching now those gals trying to make their way into zone. Cassandra in a bit of trouble. She's got 4 crosshairs pointed in her direction and she's still outside the zone. Big trouble for Cassandra. I hope she's got about 1,000 smokes on her, otherwise she's in all sorts of trouble. But there are gunshots happening elsewhere on the map. Lots of different things going on. Unit coming down the hill, the last remaining member from Unit, and Merc Bullet appears to be taking a bit of damage.
Yeah. As this is going to continue. Storm gets a knockdown onto, I forget exactly who it was. My humble apologies, I'm definitely feeling tired right now. It is 4 AM where I am, so my casting game isn't exactly completely on point. But we do see Team 15, Team 16, they are outside the circle, and they are kind of very close to getting into that 1v1 situation. As sorry, it's 2 members of Team 15. I thought they were just 1 member, but they are going to be pinched by Bullet. But Bullet, the blue zone, the damage, that didn't work out.
No, it did
Club
not.
Genius, not looking so genius right now.
Yeah, I think he might have thought that I'm not going to make it to zone here. I might try and get a kill or 2 along the way and try and take a couple with me. That didn't really come to fruition as Trash looked to try and get a knock or 2. Cassandra has made it into the zone, to her credit. So we had 9 alive, 3 teams remaining. We got those gals, Angels of War, and our match 1 winners, Young Ninjas. And another interview with Insomnia on the cards at the moment.
Awesome.
Checking out with Murta now with an M4, level 2 backpack, level 2 melon, level 2 vest. Both of those things not damaged at 100% health. Storm has just managed to get in a first aid kit. Cassandra, luckily for her, she's inside that next zone. I wonder what she's got in terms of cover. She does have a little bit. Oh, looks like Young Ninjas are rotating in her direction. Young Ninjas are very, very close. But I tell you what, Cassandra has the flank here. If only she looked up off a nade, a perfect nade, and would end things for Young Ninjas.
Shame. Unfortunately, it isn't going to be their game 2. They are going to go down and out. However, we're down to 9 players, 3 teams, 18, 6, and 5. Of course, those gals, they entered into this game 2 last minute edition, so to speak, and they're surviving very, very well into this end circle, but are going to feel the heat. However, you got to say all he needs to do, all she needs to do is just wait it out. All Cassandra needs to do is just let the side of 15, 6, and 18 take each other out.
Yeah, and that's exactly what's going to happen. There's a bunch of players down. Trash is going to have to do some work on Earl, and Lucid does that work on Earl. Going to try and confirm that finish as well. These teams are just going to kill each other. Lucid goes down as well. Now is the time for Cassandra to push in and see what she can do. She is up high. There's 6 alive, 3 teams remaining. I can still see 2 players knocked down. Trash and Murder are still alive. Peril and Insomnia are still alive. So now it's a 2v2v1 with 1 still knocked. But Storm, I don't think he's going to make it. I think Cassandra is really going to come into things now. She's outside the zone and both these players are in it. Going to be interesting because Young Ninjas with just the 2 alive. They're pinned in between the solo of Cassandra And the duo of Angels of War, they can't really come outside. They can't really look to flank. Going to have to let things come to them. And Cassandra is now on the move, trying to get into a little position in behind a tree. Does have that 6 times on the M4.
Well, yeah, she's playing it very carefully. She only has energy drinks. So in my opinion, use one now. Don't really put yourself in a compromising position. She did scope her way through to try and get a shot off, but it wasn't really worthwhile. Now she's under pressure. She's trying to drink an energy drink, but that's going to do absolutely nothing. She should have looked to have moved into the zone as quickly as possible, because when she actually got the shot off onto, I believe it was Murta, or tried to get a couple of shots off, she actually spotted herself out. So really a kind of, hey, look, it was always going to be hard for her, right? But I definitely think she could have handled that just a little bit more calculated and a little bit safer to put her team in a higher finish. But either way, scrims, something to learn from. Not really the most important thing in the world.
The only thing that I can possibly think of in terms of strategy-wise that of her staying behind that tree is not allowing one of those other teams to get the points for her kill. She might have realised and went, hey, you know what, I'm not going to make it here. I'm not going to give this team freebies and not let this team come and take some free shots at me as I'm running into zone. That's the only thing I can really think of. Did see Perils get a knock on Murta, so it's now a 2v1 scenario.
Yeah, like Trash is so heavily compromised. He's trying to use the smokes. He does have a good loadout. He's gonna. Oh, okay, I thought he was gonna get one knockdown, but he's gonna get taken out, and that is going to be game 1 on the side of MW. So great job coming out from there.
Yeah, so it's actually 2 wins in a row for Young Ninjas. So we do have another Insomnia interview on the cards, mate. Good look forward to that one, Imperium. But that's congratulations again.
Yeah.
2 Young Ninjas. Insomnia with 2 kills, Peril with 5, Earl with 5, 1 for Lucid. That's 13 kills. Then we go down to our second place finishers, Angels of War. They picked up 6 kills along the way, 2 for Storm, 3 for Trash, 1 for Atom. And then those gals, Cassandra, surviving the longest right until the end, choosing to die to zone. 1 kill to her, 3 to Athena. And then we've got Merc Esports there with 1 kill in 4th. Pub Genius in 5th with 6 kills, 3 to Bullet, 1 apiece to Cody, Thatcher, and Average Unit. Sport in 6th, no kills to those guys. Royal Flush in 7th, 4 kills in total. Sorry, the end, Dewan and Patriot getting on the score sheet there. Then we got Marked for Death, Cross, which is... Yeah, Marked for Death, actually, that's right. I did get that one right. So we've got Marked for Death. Now, Team 3, they picked up 6 kills, 2 for Hydra and Cross, 1 apiece for Studman and Playboy. Then the other MFD team, which is... Where are they? Angels of Death. Yep, that's the one with Not Bear. They picked up no kills in 9th. GKS in 10th. Shadow Nation in 11th. Dark Rising in 12th. And the solo who snuck in at the end from Shadow Enemies, Sufu. The Imperium substitute as a solo coming in 13th, landing in Picardo. That's it for match 1. Anything that you particularly liked, took away from that match, mate?
No, just to be honest, like Miramar can really throw out like a couple of curveballs in unfortunate situations for these teams, because one, they don't necessarily know the map as well as, let's say, Erangel, right? It is kind of, it's just not widely used and played compared to Erangel. And 2, the circle obviously did shift quite heavily in those last couple of circles. At the end of the day, like, Young Ninjas played the circles overall much better. It's part of the reason why they got the win. Those gals played excellently considering they came in as a last-second addition. And other than that, look, nothing really super crazy. Nothing really heavily stood out. And everybody, I suppose, played the best they could, and that's all we can expect in these scrims.
Yeah, well, mate, I think you're right, because we did see a couple of some interesting plays happen, particularly in terms of rotations of players being a little bit more careless than you think you would normally see them in a tournament situation, which is why I do want to speak to Insomnia as a little segue, who is in the interview room. Do you want me to meet you over there, mate?
Yeah, I'll make my way over there now, mate. Mate, I'm actually so freaking tired. It's not even funny.
No worries, mate. So again, we are with Insomnia. What is becoming a little bit like deja vu. Young Ninjas have taken out match 1 and now match 2 on Miramar. Congratulations, mate.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
I did notice you guys rotating quite a lot that match, whether it was chasing drops and just generally cruising along roads in the center of the map. Were you guys just having a bit of fun that time?
Yeah, so like I told you earlier, we're playing for, we're practicing for ESL, and unfortunately there's no Miramar matches in ESL. So we just landed Picado and was trying to like work on our communication skills and whatever, and just try to be able to take fights from anywhere. So we were just trying to pick a fight anywhere we could get it.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
like honestly, that's so awesome, man. Like I take inspiration from that kind of thing. Like I talk about it all the time, especially with these scrims, and like that's a prime example, right? Whether or not, even if Miramar was featured, for example, in ESL,
Right.
like the fact that you're using these scrims to practice communication, to push yourselves, let's say when it comes to like squad fights.
Yeah.
It's absolutely perfect. Like it's absolutely perfect.
We're a new team. Like this is the first day that we played together.
Yeah.
So we have to try to make what we can out of it because, like I said, ESL starts tomorrow. So.
By the way, do you want to be known as Young Ninjas, or what's the
Yeah, I guess you can call us Most Wanted for now until I can figure out what's
Most
going on with
Wanted?
Ninjas. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
I'm gonna try and remember that one. But I tell you what, how's that Imperium for with their first day playing together, practicing for a tournament that starts tomorrow? They are 2 from 2. That it's not a bad start.
No, like I gotta say, you guys, as I said, super impressed with your rotations overall, and also your balance of aggression but calculated positioning. Like when I forget exactly who the team was, but they had occupied the buildings and you guys had positioned yourselves on the hill,
Yeah,
but you
2 and
had
2.
you had all angles covered, and I'm like, why don't teams do that more?
Yeah.
Because you had the lips of the rocks, but you also had the high ground, and by splitting yourselves up into essentially two and two as you had, you got all angles covered. It was absolutely perfect. Like I'm like, okay, job
Thank
done.
you.
Thank you very much. Yeah,
Thank you.
Well, I recognize it. I ask for it all the time. Job done.
Thank you.
There was one thing I particularly noticed was there was a knock coming in. I can't remember who it was on your team that did get knocked, but you flew over there in a vehicle immediately to go for the revive.
Yeah, Earl got knocked because he was trying to go for a really hard flank, and that's the thing about 2 and 2 is if you get knocked and you're not with your partner, it's going to be pretty hard to get the res. But fortunately, he had got some shots onto him, so he was low, knowing he was going to res. I mean, he was going to heal. So I had the truck right there with me, so I could just take it real quick and crash it to the rock and be able to get the res on him safely.
Yeah, well, very well done there, mate. I think that might be it for this sneaky little interview. I got a feeling that we might see you again in about half an hour's time.
We might go 3 for 3, baby.
Three for three, baby. So is it not Young Ninjas? It's going to be
Most Wanted.
Most Wanted. Okay, I'm going to
Yes, sir.
I'm going to have to write that one down because I might forget that one mid-match. There we go, Most Wanted. That's written down, so I do have that now. But well done, mate. I'll let you get back into your slot, and I'll let Imperium and I jump back into that VC for match 3 of the Inferno squad scrims coming up very soon.
Okay, thank you, guys. I'll see y'all soon.
Yeah, see you soon.
Bye.
See you shortly, Imperium, in about 10 seconds. I'm back in VC.
Yeah, no problem.
Cool. There we are. I've also sent you the ID and password, mate. If you're not already in there.
I'm in, mate. I'm in.
Oh,
who
look at
knew?
that.
Like,
Way ahead of me. Way ahead of me.
dude, mate. As I said, I apologize to everybody. I'm so tired. I like, but I'm gonna punch my way through this last game and give it all I have got for the teams that are playing and for yourself.
Well, what was that tweet you had earlier today about? Was it the grind? I'm sure I've got it here somewhere.
Yeah,
Go
man.
back too
The grind doesn't stop, man.
That's it, and that's what you're doing right now, baby. You're on the grind. What time is it over there? About 5 a.m.
It's 4:28 a.m. in the morning. 4:28 a.m.
Can I get some claps or
You know.
some clapping in the chat, or some a bit of love for Imperium for what he does for us here at Inferno, the staying up to some incredible times of the morning just to cast some scrims with little old Simsy.
Shut up, mate. Shut up, mate. My pleasure, man. It's my pleasure. Yeah, it's like, look, it's the end of the day. Like, first of all, when you enjoy what you do, right? It's not really like work from that point of view. So when you enjoy what you do, when you love what you do, you know, you don't mind doing it at any time and all that jazz, right? So it doesn't really matter. And plus, at the end of the day, like I said, every single broadcast, every single cast, every single event is paid or not, is part of improving. It's part of growing. It's part of getting better. Even if it's a fun scrim like this, and you are clearly like, I'm clearly not casting, let's say, as professionally, or it's still something to learn from. It's still something that at the end of the day that I can turn around and kind of go, okay, yeah, like, I really enjoyed this. I spotted this bit. I was able to predict this map. You know what I mean? I was able to predict the circles, and all of that goes into my head. Not necessarily every single core part of the cast, not every single, like, you know, play, but the little things, they all add up inside my head, and it all adds to the knowledge that I'm able to then bring to the bigger events, to the broadcast that kind of, let's say, so to speak, count. And yeah, that's the way I look at it.
No, that's a very good way to look at it, because you're always, like, people don't just stumble on pots of gold. When you've got to work your ass off to get to where you are. And I know that's something that you've done and that you do, and it is paying off in spades.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit? Ah, mate. Well, I know I'm very excited for you, and the news that you told me about earlier today. It's just it's the dream for casters like us. You've made it. I'm still on my grind. But we do have match 3 coming up. Hang on, let me just swap across and get off my ugly mug. And do you want to just give us maybe a little bit of advice to other casters out there that might want to try and follow in your footsteps?
Look, at the end of the day, if you want to get into casting, first of all, just do it right. Just start doing it, and start with something that is comfortable to you, in terms of, if it's a small community scrim, if it's a small community tournament. That's exactly how I start. If you feel you have kind of potential, somebody's kind of giving you good response, then continue. Get core experience in one game, in one title, because if you try to cast 4 to 5 games, you know, when you're just learning, it's just going to make it harder for you to begin with, because every single game and every single kind of title, give or take, it requires a different type of casting. It does, fact. So get experience in one title, get experience in one game. From there, you then expand onto different titles, you expand onto different games, and you put yourself out there. There's so much more I can talk about, and maybe one day I'll do something like that. But other than that, look, just try, give it a go, and see where it goes from there. If anybody has any questions, they can come to me, they can ask me, they can seek any advice, and I will gladly help them out.
Well, I'm sure someone will hit you up on that one, mate. And we are here now on on Sanok. We've got some players heading in the direction of boot camp. I know some have landed at Camp On. Let's see how close
boot camp.
see how close some of these players get. Looks like they're both going for the main building. Oh my goodness, they're all landing on top of one another. Let's get them, baby. Go for it, guys. Get them. Get them. Oh, has there been no shots yet? Jesus. Oh, be panic running. Someone's got a UMP at least.
Okay, yeah, so it is Most Wanted, the winner of the first two games, should I say, going up against the side of Marked for Death. We see Earl has gotten a good loadout. Stuntman, should I say, has gotten one knockdown, but in it, Earl has turned his attention, has gotten a knockdown in the side of Most Wanted, as it is just going to be return fire, a 1-for-1 for now, but Earl getting another kill, and this is going to be Most Wanted instantly coming out with a squad wipe. I thought I thought this was going to be a bit closer, but Mark for Death got taken out.
Yeah, they got clapped, and they got clapped hard. Clapped so hard, in fact, that we were able to jump across to Kampong, where there is another fight happening. There's Cody has gone down. Shadow Nation applying a little bit of pressure to Pub Genius at the moment.
So, Average Me has gotten knocked down. It's gotten 3 knockdowns, should I say. Bullet gets taken out. That's a squad fight, and Shadow Nation come out on top. These early fights are lasting no time at all, Simsy.
Yeah, but there's people who are just coming through and just clapping each other left, right, and centre, just putting on an absolute clinic, and they had to get a squad wipe. I'm loving it. Hey, this is great.
I tell you what, it's woken me up a bit, Simsy. I don't know if it's a coffee, but I'm like cocaine to the veins kind of thing, like friggin' don't take drugs, kids. But,
oh my god.
But no, like it is great to see those kind of early game team fights. Like, look, they're scrims, so I'm not really gonna analyze too much. Plus, the fights happen so quickly that there's really nothing to analyze. It's just, yeah, we dropped, we landed, we died, and that's kind of it. You know what I mean? There's nothing really more to really speak about. But like I said, that early excitement, it's a good thing to see, and definitely brings a bit of a smile to my face.
I'm still chuckling at your last comment.
Man.
That's alright. We have a technical analysis. You're right. You can't really do much about that.
I know, right?
Who lands on what and gets there first. It's just, yeah, whoever can get to the ground quickly and manage to sort themselves out. Land on a QBZ like our friend did just there, and absolutely clap cheeks that allows you to get the better of some teams. That, I guess if you're landing in boot camp or something like that, you can land a little bit further out where the loot isn't as great and as plentiful. But you land that main building, you do need to roll the dice slightly, and obviously you just see their two teams come away with a couple of cheap squad wipes.
Yeah. So, let's have a bit of an overview of the circle, right? And where it's going to end. Because I did kind of like that we predicted 2 different places. In my opinion, it's going to be a boot camp finish. That's what I think. Or just on the edge of boot camp. But that's, in my opinion, where it's going to finish. Part of the reason why I think that is because, obviously, right now the circle is quite southern a little bit, while still being central, because hey, look, Sandhawk is a small map. I just know that the circles do have a bit of a tendency to end up some way around boot camp. I could be wrong, of course, don't get me wrong. I just have this. My spidey senses are tingling, Simsy.
I think you're going to be bang on the money this time, mate. We slightly disagreed in matches 1 or 2 about where the zone's going to be, and you've hit the nail on the head both times. So if you try the same thing over and over again and expect different results, then that's the definition of insanity. So I'm going to go with Imperium on this one, but no, I think it's a little easier to predict on Sandhawk. You don't get many finishes to the south of Ruins.
No.
So most finishers, I'd say, around about 80% have boot camp still in the zone after around 3 or 4 circles. So it wouldn't surprise me if towards the end we see boot camp being smack bang in the hated a little.
Well, like when you look at what right now what Most Wanted are doing, Team 18, they are split a little bit as 2 pairs of 2. I do fear that's a bit of a negative potentially coming out for them. Although, like I said, these are scrims, so they're obviously trying something different, trying something new, and even though they're a new team, it doesn't stop them trying something different, right? Especially because they won the first 2 games. I just fear that on Sandhawk and in maybe a competitive setting, you have that fear of kind of getting caught out that little bit easier, that little bit quicker. But then on a side note, the benefit to splitting into 2 pairs of 2, if you get under fire in one area of the map, you of course keep the team alive for later on in the game. So it's a bit of a compromise. There's ups and downs and pros and cons to both strategies. Let's see how it pans out for them here.
Yeah, well, it looks like Peril might be actually in a vehicle and start heading back to join up with his teammates. As I just look at the chat, and a good friend of the stream, good friend of myself and you too, Imperium. You said you had a chat to him yesterday or today. Official Ammo is in the chat, my man. Good man,
Ammo, mate.
As we just jump down to look at those girls, look like they've just picked up a knock on Team 13, Dark Rising. Classic taking a lead.
Apologies, Ammo, in advance for my terrible casting, considering I'm insanely tired, but I'll do my best to get the job done for you, as Cassandra is getting the job done for those gals, getting the knockdown onto Team 13.
Yeah, Jay has been finished off, so there's just 1 member left up for Dark Rising, and that is Lust, and he's in a bit of trouble. So much trouble that Blondesh has finished him off. Actually, those gals again, we've just seen for the 3rd time 2 teams fighting and an immediate squad wipe. So getting them done in absolutely no time at all and making our job very easy. So now we can go back to talking about Ammo.
Yeah, so Ammo, mate, apologies in advance for my terrible casting. I am incredibly tired, but Ammo, an absolutely fantastic member of the PUBG Mobile community and even just part of gaming in general. I did have a chat for about an hour. It must have been over an hour with him yesterday. An absolutely bang on guy. He's a beast as well. Never mind being a beast, he's absolutely dead on, passionate, just an overall sound guy, an absolute pleasure to talk to him. Of course, the fact that he's Australian does help, but either way, these guys aren't Australian. Loser getting the knockdown onto Athena, those gals feeling the heat against the side of Shadow Nation.
Yeah, well, Cassandra and Blondesh trying to fire back. Classic getting a knock on Zerx. So Classic might be able to get a revive as we try and see where all these teammates. Zerx going to crawl back. Loser goes down as well. Blondesh with the A-dub goes bang.
I saw that happen on my screen. It was beautifully executed, although she goes down to very low health, having to use the first aid kit, hiding behind that tree. She knows she has to get a bit of a higher ground, but either way, Classic is going to get a bit of a knockdown. So Team 17, Shadow Nation, not looking too good. They are down to 2. Actually, 1 player, because Zerx actually got knocked down, Simsy.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Blondesh is rotating up the hill, so Shadow Nation looked like they were in a position to get a a couple of kills or at least a squad wipe potentially, and Quan does go down at the hands of Classic, and those gals who had a knock on them early on have come away with another relatively easy squad wipe. You did see exactly what Insomnia was talking about before. Those gals splitting up into a couple of duos and hanging out together.
Yeah. Well, I gotta say the difference maker in that fight, in that situation, in that skirmish, so to speak, was 100% Blondesh. That knockdown gave those gals as a squad much more confidence to execute that squad wipe. So her flanking around, yes, she did take a bit of damage after she got that initial knock, but she survived, she healed up, and she allowed that the distraction to come through, and the rest of those gals squad came through very effectively. So really good stuff from them.
Yeah, well done to those gals who have now got their second squad wipe of the match, and now we're about to see Team 15. Oh, there's another one! Another bolt action to the head. Stack goes down. Team 6 and Team 15 are going to begin engaging. Angels of War and Merc Esports, either side of a river. It's going to make it real hard for a push to come out, but Stack is back up, and Bocabra with the 6 times on that Car 98 has copped a couple of shots back.
It's also, not so common for a bolt action to be used in Sandhawk, so it's great to see these players and see these teams like pushing those boundaries and not being afraid to use a bolt action in Sandhawk. At the end of the day, a bolt action is a bolt action, and it's always going to be a useful gun to use. But obviously, as I said, Sandhawk, smaller map, closer team fights, it's generally not as common. But as I said, nice to see these teams going through. We do see Team 15 flanking around and splitting up a bit. So they're occupying, as I said, the different perspectives, which is overall the best thing to do. But we also are seeing the exact same general strategy coming out from Angels of War. So, it's kind of who's going to kind of really spot each other out first. And we've seen the shots come out onto the Volas, and that could be a bit of a chance for Merc Esports to push a little bit forward. But at the end of the day, the fact that they have to go across the bridge, Simsy, is always going to put Team 15 at a bit of a back burner.
Well, what we have seen though is Most Wanted, of course, the old young ninjas. They've gone in behind this fight and can gatekeep both these teams potentially. As we see one of the Merc Esports guys get a knock, there will be a quick revive. But I tell you what, an Angels of War player pops out the back to try and go for a little bit of a flank, and Most Wanted are going to come through and clap some serious cheeks.
Yeah, I'm currently panned onto Earl right now. And right now, he sees the runaround body that he's able to get a couple of shots on the Bug. He is prone down, so he's making sure that he's not really being spotted. But Cobra, in the blue zone, gets knocked down by Earl very effectively. He does reload. He knows that the other two members of Team 15 are behind the rock. He's trying to get the finish onto Bacabra. Boom, another kill goes over to Most Wanted. That's going to be kill number 5 in their favor. Not really too surprised, Simsy, as Most Wanted, 2 games won. They're looking for the third, looking to really end this scrims on a very high note indeed.
Well, we did see one of those Merc Esports players make it across the water. Godzilla's going to try his luck now and run into that water. God damn, he's so low. Bug is also going to make a move soon because that zone is beginning to close in at their back. Mongoose is the one who has made it to zone. Bug hasn't tried his luck just yet, but they've only done half the job. But so far, those 2 Merc players have made it across the river. They've still got Angels of War chilling in that compound that they've tried to try and get past as a Molotov lands very close.
It's very close indeed. Now, what I do love about what Most Wanted are doing is they're pushing themselves. Like what they did in Miramar, they're just pushing for these squad fights. Technically, they don't have to go for it, right? They're outside the circle. They're actually going against the circle. And they really should kind of actually go into circle themselves, but they were pushing a little bit more forward. But with this huge shift in the circle, they realized that runes is realistically the best option for them, because it will be high ground, it will be wall protection, it will be the best area for them to just really stay under cover and play for that late zone.
Oh, well, I'll tell you what, Bug was gone and in big trouble there at the hands of a well-placed Molotov from Angels of War. And then we go back to Earl and Co, who are sitting there just watching that compound, although they do have to rotate at some point. They have a drop there, which I'm sure that they've picked up by now. And they can go towards zone and decide whether or not they want to gatekeep this team or prioritise a position in that next zone. It'll be interesting to see what they choose. Next zone is on Ruins and that far western bridge.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it to be so far south and so far western. It definitely did catch me off guard, to be honest. But it is nice to see these different circles coming out and pushing these teams a little bit further, as we do see those gals once again just not being afraid to get that squad wipe down in the south of this circle, outside Tambang. Boom goes the dynamite. They are just really pushing forward into this game with a total of 9 kills for their team.
Boom goes the dynamite. That is a very, very niche joke for commentators and commentators alike. Hopefully some others know about that particular skit that we're talking, particular little piece of commentary that the Imperium is talking about, as Pearl gets a knock and Earl is now coming down from, he's coming in for a flank. There's actually 2 knocks and Earl's going to go with a nade here. See if we can track that nade in over the hill, as this zone is going to really hurt players. It's going to really hurt these guys. Stack is going to have to try and get some meds in, but Earl is in such a good position to get some easy knocks if he can manage to stay inside this zone.
Well, he has to get a couple of shots off if he hasn't already, and that's going to be one. That's going to be Bitan's going down. He has to be aware of the circle himself, that he doesn't take too much damage. It is going to be ticking on him a little bit, but for now, he's just going to stay where he is. He's chasing the kills. He's pushing he's pushing his kill count up at the end of the day. And either way, it's great play coming out from Most Wanted.
He does realise that he's, of course, outside the zone and will be taking a little bit of damage, but he does know that Angels of War are going to be copping a little bit more damage because they've been outside longer. They've been having to engage in more fights. They're going to have been knocked quicker. It's going to mean that they're going to bleed out as well. So Earl, as things are pushing across, he's pushing back. He's having a good look, but that is the risk. If you do that, you might get knocked down. As Stack is going to get knocked to the zone as well. I wonder if Capo is going to put in a first aid kit and then maybe go for that revive, or is he going to have to leave his teammate and try and go for zone himself?
Yeah, that's definitely yeah. I'll kind of talk about that in a bit, because either way, the action is still kind of going on forward. I really love what Team 7 have got done in this side. They have buildings, they have the circle, and those guys, they are kind of a little bit out in the open. They don't have any kind of compound. They do, realistically, if they do want to get into a compound, they kind of have to cross the road, and that's always a bit of a fear. However, they are a 4-man squad. If they've got the resources, if they've got the smoke grenades, they need to look to use them now.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting because the Most Wanted guys and GKS are rocking up on top of one another there on the bridge. Oh, Darth is receiving a couple of dots. Shinigami's got to be careful. Shinigami's got that vector, which isn't going to be great at that distance, and he chooses to go in the water. Interesting tactic. Why is he going in the water? He's going to be outside the zone as well, but Glazier is down, Shinigami is down, Insomnia and Peril pushing across, and now it's going to be those gals engaging elsewhere.
Yeah, those guys have a great position. They are outside circle, but no teams are really near them, so they have free reign right now. Most wanted. Am I really surprised? They do lose a couple of players, but they're coming out on top of these squad fights. They just do not stop pumping out the action. Yes, a couple of mistakes are done. They could have played those last couple of squad fights a little bit more calculated, a little bit better in some ways. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to individual talent, they are just absolutely wrecking their opponents kill by kill, death by death, because they have a total of 9 kills. But we cannot deny what those guys have done, because they also have 9 kills. They are a full squad. Athena gets a knockdown onto Robbie with that Car 98.
A unit who haven't had the best day so far. They're pushing it for a late win here in the Inferno squad scrims in match 3. Smokes are coming out. Blondesh is pushing and pushing fast. She's going straight for that rock. She knows there's a knock and a revive coming out. Spots Phoenix on the run. Peeks and leans. Bang. Down he goes. That's a couple in big trouble there for unit. They still do have a couple of members inside the zone, inside those compounds, but they've got to worry about most wanted pushing them from the north now.
Well, okay. The only mistake I've seen coming out from those guys right now is that all 4 members are in one building. That is not a good thing to be doing. In a competitive setting, you do that, there's a really high risk you're gonna get absolutely fucked, to be perfectly honest. Even if you have an advantage on your opponent, it's just not a wise thing to do. They have 2 or 3 buildings that they can occupy and split up. That would be the best play to do. But I've got to give them a lot of credit, because as soon as we saw Athena get the knockdown, they move forward. Exactly the way you get the job done. Action, reaction. So the action is you get the knockdown, the reaction is you move forward. It's such a good proactive attitude to have, and it's nice to see those guys playing it forward. Another knockdown, Athena being the power damage maker on a distance. The zone comes out, the blue comes in. That is going to be the squad wipe going over to those guys onto unit.
So those gals now at a 4-2 advantage to take the win here in the last match. But the old young ninjas and the new most wanted are going 3 for 3. They're at a 2-person disadvantage, but can they come out? Blondesh goes down, so that's 1 of 4.
Oh no!
Here they come. 3 to 2 disadvantage, but can Blondesh get revived by Classic? She's rotating around, trying to get inside that building or around to get that revive potentially. Insomnia and Peril sticking very tight.
Well, okay, if Blondish can move towards a Classic, then yes, it's worth getting a revive. Otherwise, it's kind of not really worth it, because you potentially take your eye off the ball of where your opponents are, and when you are already at a 3v2 situation, it's always a bit of a risk, right? But either way, the revives come out, and once again, it's a 4v2 situation. But look at this, Peril's proning behind the building. They know they need circle. Athena gets a knockdown on the Peril though.
It's gonna be Insomnia verse 4. Can he get it done? That is the big question. Outside the zone, he's gonna be in big trouble here.
Nah, that's it.
That is it. Those gals.
Yeah, that's it.
Those gals coming away with the win. Very well done. I tell you what, there was one thing there that Peril did that I was super impressed with. When he had thrown both of those nades, he decided to go prone and check underneath the building, see if he could see some legs. That is something that I had not considered before. Very, very interesting and very good tactics. But unfortunately for him, Athena was around the corner and waiting.
Yeah, and when you're at a disadvantage, to be honest, proning and checking underneath the building is the least of your worries, in my opinion. So you weigh up the percentages. So the highest percentage is there's going to be somebody waiting around the corner of the building for you. Yeah. The lower percentage is there's going to be somebody kind of under that you can see from underneath the building. If he was able to check underneath the building while being inside the building, then yeah, fair enough. But he was essentially in the open, and the positive of checking underneath that building was far outweighed by the negative of being out in the open and he got caught out. So it was good in theory, but in practice it kind of just didn't work. But however, you know, those gals, honestly, they're absolutely fantastic as a team. They are consistently impressing me, and it is a pleasure to watch them play.
Yeah, they're great, and they always turn up, and they always go absolutely ballistic, and they really do go for those kills. They're, I think, as we spoke to Blondesh last time, talking about they're not just a great female team; they're a great team in general. So it's great to have them on board and have them turning up every week because they're fantastic to spectate. I will quickly just go through those final results. We've got those gals coming away with the win in the third and final match of the Inferno squad scrims. 4 kills for Athena, Cassandra, and Blondesh Classic, picking up 3. That's 15 kills for them. I think that's the highest amount of kills for all 3 of the matches. In second, the Young Ninjas, or Most Wanted, depending on what you want to call them. 2 kills for Insomnia, 4 for Peril, 3 for Earl. So that is 9 kills for them. Unit Sport in third place with their best finish for this week, coming in third with no kills. GKS with no kills in fourth. And then we go down to Angels of War, who picked up... Stack got 2 kills. 1 kill for... Let me zoom in there on my phone. Is Bittens with 1 kill and 1 kill for Capo. 4 kills in total for them. And then we got the MFD team with Not Bear, Tattoo, Cat, Nova, and Cerebus. They, unfortunately for them, they got no kills. Merc Esports with no kills in 7th. Then Shadow Nation, they got 2 kills for Quan, one for Loser, 1 for Zerx, which is 4 kills. Dark Rising with just the 1 kill to Lust. Pub Genius, who had a pretty good day, didn't have the greatest match 3. Just the 1 kill there to Bullet in 10th, and then the other MFD team of Hydra, Studman, Playboy, and Cross with just the 1 kill. And that is it for our 3 matches. We will jump across to have a interview with Blondesh. So I'll see you over there in a second, mate.
Yep, no problem, mate.
So we're here with the winner of, or the leader and captain of those gals who picked up the win in the third and final match of the Inferno squad scrims. Well done, Blondesh. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You guys did pretty well there across. You got one squad wipe towards the start, and then immediately rolled up on by Shadow Nation, who grabbed a knock. And luckily, I didn't get to spectate this one, but Imperium saw you with the A-dub in hand and smoking someone in the face. So unfortunately, I didn't get to see that, but Imperium did.
It was delightful. It was delightful. It was beautiful. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
just like
I'm a bit rusty with my sniping. We were kind of arguing.
Wow.
Like, no.
Modest as well, like, you know. But like, what I kind of noticed from that was, initially, of course, one of your players got knocked down. But what I really liked is that the second you got the return knockdown, you flanked higher up on that hill because you kind of knew you were in a bit of a disadvantaged position height-wise. You took a bit of damage. You were able to recover well behind a tree health-wise, and it was such a good trigger point for you guys to kind of go, okay, we got the knockdown, let's push on them a little bit more. I don't see enough teams doing that. Is that something you guys have kind of like practiced on more?
Well, we kind of have like certain things, like if it happens, then we do it. So in that case, like if we have 2 knocks or maybe even 1 knock, we're gonna try and flank around while they're too busy getting their other teammate up to get another angle.
Yeah,
most
exactly.
teams don't expect that.
Exactly, that's what I say. Like, nobody expects it, and it's kind of like, well, you should, like, you know?
Yeah.
You guys do pretty those guys, you guys, which are those gals. You gals go pretty ballistic there. You guys are quite an aggressive team. Actually, one question that I did want to talk to you about, which happened on Miramar. Cassandra, stuck behind a tree outside the zone, chose to commit suicide.
Died a zone. Yep.
Whose decision was that one?
That game, I'm actually not too sure because like I had no comms, I couldn't hear my teammates, I had to reset and everything, but it didn't work. So I was like typing to them. So I think Cassandra just made that decision since she didn't have any meds, and I'm not too sure if she had smokes or not, but she would just like not let them get the kill.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Like I casted PUBG PC PEL contenders last week, and that very similar thing happened at the end of one of the games where it was a 3v4 situation for one of the teams called Gamer Legion, and they had like no med kits, no utilities, and they literally just suicided in the blue zone. And like, but me and the co-cast were kind of like initially kind of going, because we mainly had a viewpoint from the opposing team. And at first we were kind of like, what the hell just happened? But when we kind of found out kind of why they did it, it made sense, because you're not giving the kills over, and if you don't give the kills over, it's realistically going to have a positive impact from a points point of view, you know? So yeah, that's a great strategy.
Yeah.
Are you guys participating in ESL?
Yeah.
Well,
come on.
I know there's still more time, but like we talked about it as a team, and I don't think like the availability between some of the girls works out with it, but I might be doing it with the guys team.
Ooh, which team might that be? Which team might that be?
Those guys.
Those guys, right? Okay.
It would be
Wouldn't it be called those people then?
Ooh.
Those
Let's get political. Let's go.
Yeah, those humans.
Those players.
Those players, yeah.
those binary non-gender people.
Yeah, like Jesus, wow. Okay. No, honestly, like, if possible, really, like, please do ESL, because really, as I said, like before the interview, it is such a pleasure to like watch you guys play, and I've seen you guys improve and become more synergized while still being aggressive and calculatedly aggressive as well. And really, like, I firmly believe that if you gals did compete in ESL as a team, that you would go far.
Thank you.
So if you can, please do it.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have another meeting about it.
Please do.
Yeah.
Please do. If not even instead of, let's say, you joining those guys, try to get somebody else in as replacement and compete with as many of the original roster as possible, in my opinion, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, if need be, Blondesham, I'll don the wig and whack on a brow.
I was gonna say that, but I was like, no, I won't be that kind of asshole, you know? Like, okay, now, wow, man, shocking.
Yeah, maybe not. I'm rubbish anyway. I'm Well, either way, whether you go with those gals or those guys or those people, good luck in the ESL. Yeah. Well done on match 3 and coming away with the W. It's always great having you gals here. Hopefully we'll be able to see you again next week.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Hell yeah, that's what we'd like to hear.
Yeah, now that so we missed the first game because like I kind of screwed up on some time zones with another scrim. So that's why I asked late to join, because like that scrim screwed me up a lot. I guess it kind of, I don't know. But Battle of the Sexes ended last week, so now our Monday is free.
Boom. Sweet.
Boom.
Yeah. Boom goes the dynamite, as Imperium said in the stream. Oh, Jesus. Rightio, but thank you very much for dropping by for a chat. Well done. Good luck, and we'll see you again next week.
Thank you.
No worries, guys. That was Blondesh from those gals. Those gals coming away with the win in match 3 here on the Inferno squad scrims on. That was Sandhawk, that third and final match. But that is going to be it for us for this week. I believe we do have a little something coming up later this week. There has been a couple of administrative changes, so we'll get back to you on whether or not those solo scrims do happen. But for now, I am Simsy, alongside my good buddy Imperium. I'll catch you later, and I'll leave Imperium to save his goodbyes.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. Yeah, thanks, everybody, for just tuning in. Thanks to all the teams for participating. Well done to all the teams that played overall. Doesn't matter where you guys finished, whether you finished first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. Doesn't matter. The most important thing with scrims is that you walk away learning something new and learning about the team a little bit more that you're in and gaining a bit of knowledge. That's the most important thing about scrims. Results at the end of the day, even though we talk about what teams finish first, does not matter. They're scrims for a reason. Other than that, have fun, and I hope you all join us again in the future.
Cheers, guys. Catch us all later.
Yo. Yeah? Okay. Stop. No, it was fine, man. Wouldn't have thought anything else, right? You know? Sorry, 2 seconds.
So if you want something to hold on to, gotta find it first. But here I am.
What?
'Cause I've been laying under palm trees waiting for the summer.
What's that?
Knowing there's nowhere to go. 'Cause I am
What's that mean?
happy on this island. Wanna be my farmland. I don't ever want to leave. I'm in a tropic club. lions roaring in the morning sun, searching for a longer day. People feeling like the light has just come. We must never stop the way. Birds jumping and I hear my name, grasping into life. Life is happy but it's so insane. We must merely make a stride. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a walk. Savannah. Lion's gonna come. The birds have just begun. We will always take a stand for the people, for the land. Let's go back to when we were young. For the animals we stand. Let's go back to